Whenever you have fear, my biggest advice to you is take it out of you like it's a thing and put it on the table in front of you and think about why it's a problem. And if you cannot come up with a genuine reason why your fear is real, like sometimes fear is real, like,
Yeah.
But if for some reason, if you realize it's you putting an obstacle in front of you doing something, then you just have to knock that away.
Yeah.
You need to pass right through that, because those moments in time when you evade fear are the moments where you have breakthroughs.
By a show of hands, how many of you make less than you think that you are worth? Why is that? It's time for you to put your foot down and say, enough. Luckily, you're here at the right time and the right place. The most wonderful real estate podcast ever is the path that you seek. I'm Dwan-derful, and I have closed over 2,000 deals. I've been investing for over 30 years. I've seen all the markets, and I've done over $500 million worth of deals. I mean, think about that. $500 million worth of real estate. And I have a heart for you. I want you to walk my path with me. Your life is about to change. And do you know why? Because it's time to thrive in 25. Say it with me. It's time to thrive in 25. It's time to thrive to 25. Enjoy the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. I am so super excited to have you on the show today. And if you haven't listened for a while, we just reached 1 million views. So I am, not views, downloads. So I am so excited to hit the million mark. That was a really big deal for me. So you all know me. First thing I did was like, is 1 million downloads good? And turns out it makes you in the top 5% of all podcasts. So I was like, woo! So my new guest here today, Miss Andrea, is just learning this. So I'm so excited. And it's all because of you. And I just thank you and love all of you so much. So as you know, this is the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. I took my name, Dwan and Wonderful, and made a new name. So over here we are Dwan-derful. And our motto is people before profits. So if that's something that fits in with you, you're at the right place, and I'm your girl. So I'm going to just jump right into my guest, Miss Andrea Gordon. Here's the thing. Most of you know, my first name is actually Andrea. So it's Andrea Dwan. And hers is spelled the same, but it's Andrea. So now I have to be super aware to say Andrea. That's the same thing as someone calling me Dawn, which you all know I hate. They all know. I've had a few people that have been on my show and they call me that, and I was like, did we discuss this before? All right, Miss Andrea.
Yes.
Miss Andrea. I gotta make that phonetic because of my own name, so I've been crazy. All right, girl. So we just throw our guest right in. We want to know who you are, how do we find you on social media, and just a couple sentences about what you do, and then I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions.
Very, very cool. My name is Andrea Gordon, and I'm a Realtor in Berkeley, California. I've been a Realtor for 27 years at this point, and I am the top producing agent in Berkeley, Oakland, Albany, El Cerrito, Kensington, all of the inner East Bay for Compass, which is really cool.
That is, well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you
Be
very
the
much.
top realtor in any area. That is, I mean, people that don't know how much work that is.
It's a lot of work. It really, really is. I have my own podcast, which is called Realizations. And I got really angry about the NAR DOJ lawsuits and all of the commission lawsuits and stuff, because what I realized was that nobody really knows what we do. They don't understand what we do. They don't understand the depth and breadth of it. They don't understand how many vendors we have to deal with, all of the ins and outs of what it is to do real estate. And so then I thought, rather than be mad, because that's not a great, healthy thing for anybody, that I would create a podcast myself that would address and educate people as to what we really do, why it matters, what's important about what we do in society, in the cities we live in the communities we live in, the charitable ways in which we give back, And so I've been having everybody from mayors of different cities to the head of Compass to painters and,
To me, soon to be on your show.
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's pause right there just for a second. Give me all your socials because I want everyone to be able to find you. And people sometimes just read the show notes and take a few things and they move on.
You can find me really at Andrea at the at sign Andrea Gordon Real Estate, pretty much on every platform. And you can email me at andrea@andreagordon.com. And you can go to my website, which is www.andreagordon.com. You can also find my podcast, which is called Realizations, capital RE for real estate. And it's on Hulu, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon, you name it.
It's
Yeah, yeah. And you can also find my book. I have a children's book out. It's on Amazon. It's called Yo-Yo in a Tree. And it's all about how a Senegal parrot got out and was able to get home after flying far, far away. And it follows the adventures of these two little children, Stanley and Emma, who are desperate to get the bird back.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, so now what you say, I agree with. So I have been a real estate investor for about 35 years. I've wholesaled or flipped over 2,000 personal deals. I've helped, I don't know, I have over 500,000 students. My husband and I are basically rehabbing an entire town, but I've never had my real estate license. I started off as an investor. I started rehabbing houses 35 years ago, and I just stayed into the business like that. But I tell people all the time, if you're going to be a real estate investor and not have a license, you have to be able to work with someone that is a real estate agent. Right. Because we can't be investors without real estate agents.
Mm-hmm. Well, it creates so much liability for you besides everything else.
Yeah, it's not even a liability. It's like, we need someone to help us with comps, especially if we're new. We need someone to help us with a listing agreement if we're doing short sales. If we rehab and we put our houses on the market when they're all done, we need someone to sell our houses. I'm trying that.
There we go.
My camera earlier. Then we need someone to help us sell our houses. And so, and I always tell people, like, listen, don't do everything. Don't have a license and be try to be a contractor and be a rehabber and be an investor. Find the people that's what they do and let them be on your team.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
So I feel like team, I just don't, I always tell my grandkids every day, I'm like, teamwork, they go, makes the dream work.
Yeah.
I tell them that every single day whenever their kids, we make them, put groceries away and do all these things. And there's 4 of them, and the little one's 3 and the big one's 10. Like, no, everybody helps. Teamwork. And they go, makes the dream work. I'm embedding that into their brains now because they have to grow up and realize, you can't just be a one-man act and be wealthy and successful without people helping you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people collaborate all the time. They don't call it collaboration, but really, when you have community, when you have, every place where you go, you have people that are buoying you up and you're buoying them up. And that's part of what makes life worthwhile, honestly. It's how friendships develop. It's how resilience develops. It's how people become productive, and not self-involved. So these are all really wonderful things. Yeah. When I sell one of my own properties, I hire a realtor, by the way.
Yeah. And you know what? And you should. It's like you're too close to your own projects. Exactly. I don't know. I swear I feel like I preach to the choir. I'm just always telling people that. And I get like someone again, I'm like, oh, okay, someone that actually understands what the deal is. You just can't do it. And I have people go, I don't want to be commission. It's like, but if I fix a house up and I'm selling it, I'm making money. Why should the realtor not also make money? Because investors are like, I'll just sell my own house. It's like, yeah, but do you know what to do? Do you have the experience? Like, do you know how to sell houses?
Right.
Like, no. I'm like, well, again,
people focus on the commission, and that's why those lawsuits were so utterly stupid. They focused on the commission, which is the smallest piece of any of it. On average, I get my sellers 11% more than most other realtors do in the areas that I serve.
Well, my husband is I'm sure my husband is a Mike Ferry trainee.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yes.
worked with Mike Ferry. I guess we both, I guess, got into real estate both at around 1990.
Hmm.
And he was an agent for years, 5 or 6 or 7 years, and sold like 500 houses. Then he
Hmm.
helped somebody in foreclosure, and I guess the way he tells it is like some light bulb went off. He's like, "Wow, I just helped somebody in foreclosure," and this was like, I guess it felt more meaningful to help
Yeah.
the family. He's like, "I'm gonna do
Hmm.
this again." So next thing you know, he was hung up his license, and he's an agent. So it's funny to listen to him when we do our boot camps, and because he's got all the Mike Ferry scripts, so
Yep.
right. He
Yep.
was on the panel for a while. He was a coach for a while. And he'll say, okay, top question. Someone's like, can we lower my commission? And Bill's like, no, any other questions? And
Right.
I
Right.
laugh because I've listened to the Mike Ferry tapes. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah. I worked with Tom Ferry, his son.
Yeah.
And then I actually, to this day, I work with a coach named Vonda Martin, who
Hmm.
was one of Tom Ferry's coaches. She actually
Yeah.
was one of Mike Ferry's coaches way back when too. But
Yeah.
she,
Well, Bill went for Mike, then he worked with Tom, and then we actually became friends with Matt and his wife.
Mhm.
Because they're not into the real estate side anymore. But it's just fun
Right.
because I've listened to the tapes so many times with Bill listening to them, like, gosh, that's a lot of good because the scripts are so important.
And it's not only that, it's that they teach you to be accountable to yourself.
Yes.
And that's, I don't compete with other agents. I compete with myself.
Yeah.
I have a production tracker that Vonda gave me way back when I was working with Tom Ferry that I still use to this very day. Compass has come out with their own version of it, but
Mhm.
I actually like the one I've been working with
Mhm.
forever better. So I use it. And that way I can tell you down to the penny how much money I make. I can tell you how many conversations I need to have every single day in order to make the money that I want to make. So it's a way of stabilizing your income and moving forward, understanding what you need to do in order to make this all work. And a lot of people get into real estate thinking it's going to be easy, thinking they're just going to work 2 hours a day and make millions of dollars. It's a very, very, very hard job. Beyond being a very, very hard job, you have to be consistent in your marketing efforts. You have to be consistent in your prospecting. You have to be consistent in your follow through and follow up. It takes a lot. It's really it's kind of amazing
It's
actually when
funny.
you think
I
about
say
it.
all those same things to investors, but what I want to touch on is you said that you help people really understand like what you do, and I
Mhm.
think like people just think, oh, I'm going to list my house, and they don't really understand what it is that you do. That's why they're
Right.
like, oh, lower your commission, take this, do this and that. It's like, hey, listen, that person has to stand up for their own worth and their own self value, and they are
Mhm.
also working and doing a service, and they're helping you. But I
Yeah.
just think people think you're like, you put it in the computer and why can't you take less? But there's so much to it. So
No,
I like the fact you start off saying you basically teach people like
that's the whole point of what I
the
do.
depth of it. So I want you to like, if I'm brand new and I'm talking to you, what some of the things you would say to me because your approach is so great.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, one of the first things that I mention when I'm teaching people is that you're meeting people at some of the most stressful points in their entire lives.
Agreed.
And even if it's good stuff, like let's say they've just gotten married and they want to buy a house, or they've had a baby, or they've had another baby. You're meeting people in real estate who have been through a major life change, generally speaking. Most of us are pretty inert. We don't want to move any place unless we have to. My husband and I, for many, many years, we would buy a house, fix it up, live in it for a couple of years, and then sell it. But then we found a house we really, really, really liked in 2004, and we've stayed here because we really love this house and we
Yeah.
love the land and we love all of that about it. But most people don't move unless they have to.
True.
Most people, and it can be exciting things. It can be you get a big bonus at work and therefore you can now afford to buy a house whereas you've been renting before. Or it can be you got divorced or your kids went off to college but it's always some incredible pivot point in their lives. So
Yeah.
realtors, not only do we have to be really, really astute as far as marketing is concerned, we also have to be really, really astute as far as dealing with people in very stressful moments of their lives. Usually
True.
people aren't at their best when you're working with them as a realtor, and you have to learn to let that stuff just roll off your back and feel like it's not personal. There's a wonderful, wonderful book called The Four Agreements, which
Mm-hmm.
I recommend to everybody all the time because you when you read it, you realize that yes, that whoever's having that problem, it's not really your problem. And if you take it on, you become less effective. So part of your job is to stay a little bit away from any of the emotionality of the situation, to be
Yeah.
compassionate and empathetic, but also to be the person who can act and isn't paralyzed by the situation and
Yes.
problem.
See,
Yeah.
I'm dealing with people that are in foreclosure.
Yeah.
Now, something has happened there too, and a death, a divorce,
Mhm.
job loss, all the same things. So I think I'm with them a little further down the road because most people will try to sell their house first, but sometimes
Yeah.
like they just can't. It's too much disrepair. Too many things are wrong. And I always tell my investors, I'm like, listen, you're meeting them just like you said at probably, and in my case, one of the worst times in their life. And if
Mhm.
you don't want to hear their story and try to help them, and like for me, I pray with them. And if you don't want to do all those things like that, you don't have any business being in this business because these people need help, like real help. It's not about what you're going to make. They need
Right.
real live help.
Right. No,
I like
absolutely.
that you emphasize that because I don't think enough people do.
Well, and that's part of the job. Another part of the job is being a top-notch marketer. You have to know how to market properties to
Yep.
be a realtor. And that takes an awful lot right now. I mean, there are a lot of people that are not terribly tech savvy. If you aren't tech savvy and you don't have the gene that will enable you to be tech savvy, hire someone who does. I mean, that's the other part of all of this is that people are frightened to spend money. People really, really, really fear spending money. The best investment I ever made was hiring my first assistant. My business
Yeah.
doubled as soon as I hired an assistant. And I had been very loath. I'm very I don't know what the word is, but I'm kind of anal about numbers and things and I actually do know how to do absolutely everything. And so I was trying to do everything myself and essentially I was my own assistant. So, there I was doing what I could pay somebody, $40 an hour for in California. I don't know what it is elsewhere, but at $30 an hour in California for something that, what my job pays more like $300 an hour. It doesn't make
Exactly.
any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So you hire somebody to do that kind of work and you supervise them and you figure it out. At this point, I have two listing coordinators. I have a full-time transaction coordinator. I have a virtual assistant in the Philippines, and I have buyer's agents that handle buyers for me. I'm almost entirely listings at this point in my career. And
Perfect.
and that it works out really, really well for me. I'm not a major team. I mean, I hear about some of these mega teams that they have at like Keller Williams, where there's there's one guy in Oakland, California, who has a team of 369 people. I am sorry, you are not a team if you have 369 people working for you. You are a broker. You're not really. I mean, I doubt that guy has been in the house for several years at this point. So it really just depends on how you want to set up your business. And there's so many different things you can do in real estate. Like look at what Dwayne is. I see I did it now. Dwan is doing.
That's okay. We're even. We both
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Look at what Dwan is doing. She is working on foreclosures, flips, investing, all of those things. That's a job in real estate. Appraising is a job in real estate.
Yeah.
You can become an inspector and work with real estate. There's so
Yeah.
many different companies and different ideas of businesses that are associated with what it is we do. We're like the biggest segment of the US economy.
No, you are. You really
And
are. I think
yeah,
there's more realtors than any other type of a job class. There's more people that are in the real estate agent, real estate investor, or agent side of the business. I think there's more agents than like any other, like versus stockbrokers or versus this or versus that. I
yeah,
think
there are almost as many attorneys, but there are,
oh,
but
listen, there's a
there,
lot of attorneys. That's
but
that's because we're too Sue happy. So tell me about a couple of your marketing. I feel like I know that at my age at 66, I was not born with a computer at my fingertips, but I have gotten pretty good at learning marketing, but I've taken a lot of classes.
hmm
That's a lot of weekend workshops. learning marketing. What are some of the top marketing
Well,
things that
I,
people need? Because I don't,
Mhm.
people are like, well, I'm just going to get my license and people will find me. It's like, they won't find you. There's like 100 billion people. They're not going to find you.
Okay, so a few things, just some a little bit of background for me. I used to teach at different universities. I'm a theater director and playwright. My work has been produced nationally. I have directed all over the country, and with that and $2.50, I could buy myself a cup of coffee. So, because the arts are not very well funded in this country, especially now, and so what happened for me was at that point in time, most of my friends in theater would go work at a restaurant. They'd be a bartender or a waitress or a
Yeah.
waiter. And I instead went to work for Hal Riney and Partners, which was an advertising agency in San Francisco.
Oh,
And I
good
became,
move.
yeah, I was their in-house casting person for a while. I left to direct a production of Death of a Salesman in Los Angeles, but that's a whole other story. But the point being, I learned a lot from when I was there watching how advertising is created and what's important and how campaigns are created and what they do. And I think that that has really, really helped me in my work as a realtor ever since then. I I um I learned how repetition is key. I learned how, like, if you put one ad in, it's meaningless. You have to have consistency.
Yes.
You have to keep doing it over and over again. Many, many years ago, people laughed at me because I got bus benches. So I have bus benches.
I
None of
had
them
bus benches too. I loved it. I had so much business on bus benches.
exactly. They are subliminal. People drive by them every day.
Every day.
They see your name on there. By the way, I have never ever had my photo on my best benches because I kind of come off looking like a potato, and I always forget to wear makeup, what have you. But
You're like beautiful.
thank you. But the point being, people always think my picture is on my best bench and they remember me. Like I went for a massage at this massage place, and the person who was giving me a massage went, "Oh, you're the real estate lady." And then of course proceeded while she was doing the massage to talk to me about real estate values.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
That's so
um,
funny.
but I've had those bus benches for like, I want to say 23 years now.
Yeah.
And, and they are worth gold. During the economic downturn in 2008, I actually added bus benches. I actually increased my spending on my marketing during the downturns because I knew that if I was the last person standing in that situation, that people would be like, "Oh, she survived. She did well. She's okay." And so I upped my marketing, and that's
Yep.
something that's very hard. It's like what's his name from Berkshire Hathaway, the guy that's retiring now. He's wonderful. The older gentleman who is like, I can't remember his name. Anyway,
I can't even. I'm sorry.
we'll figure it out. Anyway, he Warren Buffett.
Oh,
He
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Warren Buffett during downturns he buys stock.
He buys.
He buys during, that's the thing. You have to let, the biggest thing that holds everyone back is fear. Fear is the most dangerous thing in the entire world. Fear stops people from doing. I remember when I was a kid, when I was like 18, some people that I knew were getting married, and I knew it was going to be the best wedding in the history of mankind. And I got a gigantic zit on the middle of my nose right before the wedding. And I have regretted for my entire life that I did not go to this wedding, which people to this day still talk about because it was so much fun. Because I was so worried that people were going to be looking at this gigantic carbuncle in the middle of my face. Now, the reality was, it wasn't my day. Nobody would have
No,
given a
never would
damn.
have cared.
And no one would have cared. But I had fear, and fear was the thing that stopped me from doing something wonderful that would have made me happy. Would have
Happy and giving you all
I,
those memories with shared memories.
Exactly. So, whenever you have fear, my biggest advice to you is to look at it really, really, take it out of you like it's a thing and put it on the table in front of you and think about why it's a problem. And if you cannot come up with a genuine reason why your fear is real, like sometimes fear is real, like,
Yeah.
but if for some reason, if you realize it's you putting an obstacle in front of you doing something, then you just have to knock that away.
Yeah.
You you need to pass right through that, because those moments in time when you evade fear are the moments where you have breakthroughs.
Yes,
So
I agree. I spent
yeah,
so much of my life earlier being afraid of things. I finally one day was just like, screw people. I'm not afraid. And now I'm just like, I don't even care what people think. So I don't
yeah,
care what you think or say about me. I'm not afraid to try anything. None of that stuff even phases me.
yeah. And
But it
that's
sure does until you overcome it. I trust that you are loving the podcast. Hey, do you really want to become a super kick-ass superstar real estate investor? Really? 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 All right, I want you to spend the next minute and just take my real estate investing quiz. Super fast, super quick. It'll let you know where you stand on your journey. The link is in the show notes, or you can go to dwanderful.com. And back to the show.
I look back on pictures from my youth, and I keep thinking about the things that I was pursuing, and it makes me sad in a certain way, some of the things, because I didn't realize how great something was. I didn't fully appreciate the moment. And that's, this last week, actually 2 weeks ago, my best friend, who is 94 years old, she's an incredible playwright. She had a major stroke,
Oh,
and she lost the ability to talk because of the stroke. It hit her in the left temporal lobe of the brain. And the day before, my other best friend, Ellen, and I had gone out to lunch with her. And we had this incredible conversation. And we were talking, actually, because I'm in a PhD program, by the way. I
good for
decided
you.
I decided to go back to school. And so I'm taking 2 classes a semester, which means that by the time I'm 80, I'll have my PhD. But
It's never too late.
exactly. Well, that's my motto. My motto in life is, if not now, when? If not now, when?
I've had that motto. I developed that motto a long time ago. It's like, if I'm doing it, what am I waiting for? People wait. They wait for something to happen before they start something, but it's like
Exactly.
the waiting is what kills you. Like, just do it. If it doesn't work out, do something else, but stop
Well,
waiting.
it's the same issue. It's the same fear thing. Honestly, fear of failure is like a big. I have a paperweight. I don't know if you can see this.
Some of it, your screen's in the way a little bit. Read it.
Anyway, it says, "What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail?" And I'd attempt to do everything. I mean,
Everything.
everything. And so I have started at this point in my life, because by the time you hit your 60s, you sort of feel like you might as well. I mean, what is there to lose at this point?
Yep.
So I went back to school. I wrote a children's book. It's called Yo-Yo in a Tree. You can look it up. It's on Amazon. It's actually
I'll get it for my grandkids.
my illustrator is this guy named Tiago Moto that I met. He's in Portugal, and he's brilliant and wonderful. We're actually already working on a second book called Stanley and Emma Go to the Bird Store. I researched it a little bit, and there are no children's books that are based on birds. And so I thought, oh, a niche.
Hey, that's fun.
Yeah. So in any case, so I wrote a children's book, and I wrote a play. And the play was very, very personal to me. And I've been writing plays my whole life, so it's not like it's unusual for me to write a play. But what was unusual was I submitted it to a bunch of different contests all over the country, and it was a runner-up in like 3 of them. And then
Good for you.
then the Magic Theater in San Francisco actually produced it. And I created a production company based on putting all of this stuff together, called Rainbow Zebra Productions, and created an LLC because you want everything to be all kosher. And
Oh, yeah.
And subsequent to that, and that was in 2023 that this all started happening. Subsequent to that, my Rainbow Zebra Productions has now become named a resident theater at the Magic Theater in San Francisco. And yeah, and I sponsor a play reading series that is all plays written by women over the age of 55, with great parts for women over the age of 55. And we are anthologizing them into books. So this whole project started just from the germ of me going, I want to do the things I want to do. When I turned 60, I started taking piano again.
Yeah.
when I was a little girl, and Mrs. Hoodies, my Danish piano teacher, used to whack me over the fingers with a ruler, and I got so annoyed that I quit. And I'd always regretted it my whole life that I didn't go back to it. And when I turned 65, I was good enough that I bought myself a Steinway Grand.
Wow, nice for
And
you.
I'm still taking lessons. So there's this wonderful cellist named Pablo Casals. You might have heard
Mhm.
of him. Somebody asked him when he was 86 why he practiced every day, and he said, "Because I think I'm getting better." So,
Oh,
so what I want to do is just get better and better and better and better and better. And as far,
okay.
yeah, and real estate is the sort of thing that you can do and get better and better and better, and it will teach you everything about life.
Yes,
By
it
the
does.
by the time you're done in real estate, you will have been through vicariously, of course, both as a participant, as the agent, but also as an observer. You'll
Yep.
have seen so much about human nature. It will be amazing to you. It's a great teacher. It's a wonderful, wonderful teacher. And I actually was asked by Compass to teach a master class in real estate closing because most real estate agents don't know how to close. They just
They
don't.
don't. It seems like at a closing,
Yeah,
everyone
I
is kind
know.
of scrambling about and no one really knows what's happening.
Yeah, it's but what happens is, thank you, darling. A long time ago, a long time ago, people got the idea that as real estate agents, they were just trusted advisors. So what happens when you're a trusted advisor? You advise. Does
Exactly.
anybody ever take your advice? Does anybody automatically do? No. Every once in a while, you have to push somebody a little bit off of a cliff so that they will actually do something. And if you don't know how to do that, you will not succeed in real estate because
Yep.
there's not a single person on the planet, except for possibly Dwan, who walks into a house and wants to spend $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
There is not a person. They put every obstacle they can possibly put in front of themselves because as soon as they actually want something like that, all the doubts, all the fear, all the incapability comes back in and they start talking themselves out of it. So part of your job as a realtor is to slightly push them off the cliff. And it's not because you want the commission, it's because it's the right thing for them to do.
It is.
I just got somebody into contract yesterday who had written an offer on a property about a week ago. And the offer that she wrote was really namby-pamby. And she has plenty of money, by the way. She is capable of doing this, but she was fearful. And so that offer that she wrote a week ago on this house that I didn't think she really, really wanted was not meaningful. And ultimately, our area is still experiencing lots of multiple bid situations. There were
Yeah.
9 offers, and her offer was not at the top. She was in the sixth. She was third from the bottom. And we talked about it, and I said to her, I told you during the course of this that I didn't think that was the right house for you. And you just went for it anyway, but you didn't really go for it because you didn't really want it.
Yep.
And so then another house came up almost immediately afterwards, and it was a lot more expensive. But I also knew she had the money. And it was exactly perfect. It was like the day that I taught, I do an intake with every client that I have, and I write down what it is they want and what are the things that seem to be important to them. I ask them a bunch of questions so that I really get to what's important to them because you have to go in depth with people about this stuff.
You do.
Sure. And so this house came up and it was perfect. I mean, all the way down to a shared communal garden. How often do you?
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Yeah. And I was like, don't let this one go. Don't pass this one up. And we decided on a price. And between deciding on a price and me having to go to a risk management seminar that was required by Compass for everyone,
Yes.
she was working with my assistants and she cheaped out by $100,000. And I got out of the thing, and the agent who was representing the seller called me and said, "Hey, Andrea, you have this offer in here, and I have to tell you, you're not at the top." They loved her letter. They thought she was wonderful. They thought she was great, but it's not enough. And I said, "What would be enough? Would this number be enough? And she said, oh, she would get it. She would get it. She would be ahead of, there's an all cash offer that's a little bit behind that, but they liked her letter so much, I think they would go with her. So I went back on the phone with her and I said, you need to do this if you want this house.
Yep.
And otherwise, you're just going to be sitting there and not getting this house, and we're going to continue looking for another 6 months because this is a rarity. This is a unicorn. You're not going to see this again. I can tell you already. I know all the inventory in the areas I serve, and you are not going to see this sort of thing. She stepped up to the plate and she got the house.
Yay! And
So
that's why they need you.
yeah, that's why all clients need a realtor, but
Yeah.
you need to have strength and, I was going to say balls, but that seems rude.
No, it doesn't.
Listen,
You gotta have balls. You have to have balls to be in business for
yeah,
yourself and to get a PhD and
yeah.
to write plays and to write books. You got cojones.
Anyway, I taught this class at Compass and I transcribed it, and it's turning into a book called Realizations. It's a guide for people who want to be realtors, and it's just basically addressing the things that are the real issues and whether you're successful or not in real estate, not. And you need to learn all the laws. You need to learn all the forms. You need to know what to do. When to have somebody talk to an attorney. You need to know when you should be talking to your manager. You need to know what the questions are to ask. But there's a lot that you don't need to ask anybody about. You just have to figure it out for yourself. And
Yeah.
that's what my book's about.
Nice. I love it. So let's jump topics for a minute. I love everything. You are a plethora of information.
Thank you.
Tell me, so we're going to talk about just you personally for a minute. Tell me, what's your favorite band of all time?
Oh my goodness, the Beatles.
I love the Beatles. I do love the Beatles. That's one of the first bands I remember back in the day, so I was born in 59. I listened to the Beatles and my mom loved Elvis.
Yep.
So like as a kid, I was like, oh, I love the Beatles and I love Elvis. I'm going to marry all of them.
They seem so creative and cool. My favorite Beatle was John. My best friend's favorite Beatle was Paul, and we would play that we were married to them. It was very stupid.
No, it's not. No, it's not. My daughter was working at the Ritz-Carlton down in Denver, and Ringo, she worked on the VIP floor. Ringo checked in.
Oh wow.
And you're not allowed to ask for pictures. You're not allowed to, you can't tell your friends they're here at the hotel because
Right.
they want the discretion. But her favorite Beatle is Ringo.
Oh my God.
And she's like, and she calls us. She's like, oh my God, if I was going to throw up. I'm walking him. I'm showing him around his suite. I'm getting things for him. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And he walks with his hands behind his back. He's like, groovy. This is great. She's like, I wanted him to take a picture so bad, but I couldn't ask. She said, I just stood in the elevator looking at him. She had tears running down.
Bless her heart. That's so
I
good.
was like, oh, I said it, but they're not allowed to ask. Like they actually get fired. And she's like, I was just like, please ask me. I want to take a picture with you.
One of the
I'm
weird
telling you, she still talks about to this day, like just like being alone in the elevator and take him to his room and just everything she did. She's like, it was just unbelievable. And I was like, I know the Beatles had such an impact on everybody.
I think they did, and they had an impact on music. I was going to tell you a really weird thing in my life is that I have been in bathrooms 3 times in 3 different continents with Yoko Ono.
Seriously. Are you a Yoko Ono fan?
Not particularly. It's like one of those weird things that happened. I grew up in part in New York City, and they used to live about 6 blocks away from me when they were at the Dakota. I
Yes.
was all the time at Gristedes, what have you. And so it wasn't 3 continents, 2 continents. I saw
No, that's so crazy.
I saw her in Europe, and I saw her in New York and in Los Angeles in America. So
In the bathroom, no less. That's a fun story.
washing hands together at the sinks.
That's a fun story. What's your favorite food? What do you love to eat?
Oh Lord. What do I love to eat? I love Italian food. I'm not a foodie. I eat like a 6-year-old. I love all the stuff that's like pasta and cheese and
I tell my husband sometimes, like, I don't know what happened. Once we got the kids out of the house and just eat whatever we feel like eating, I'm like, we eat like teenagers. We'll just like eat a hot dog. I'll make up some mac and cheese because I have it for the grandkids. Like, this stuff's really good. It's like, God, the stuff I'm eating is so bad. What's your favorite time of day? Where's your super happy place when you think, oh, this is the best time of day?
I love sunset.
Yeah, me too. Most people always say, oh, early morning, I get up at 4. I'm always like, why? Like, why? Really, why? I'd much rather watch the sun go down than the sun come up.
Well, it's just it's the we have a really I have probably not for you, but our lot here is enormous. I have a 24,000 square foot lot, and it looks like a park.
Oh, wow.
And at nighttime, I don't have the city view. I have a canyon view, but at nighttime, the way the sun dapples off of the leaves, it's just exquisite. Right?
Oh, that's got to be so beautiful.
It is. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, and makes me happy. That's why we didn't leave here, is because it's so peaceful and beautiful, and to be in the middle of an urban area like Berkeley, and to have this incredible yard. It's.
I would stay for the yard too. We have 9 acres up here in the mountains.
Mhm.
And the sun's just beautiful and it goes down over the trees. It's like, oh, it's so pretty. It's like you couldn't pay me to live in Denver and be all around all those people all the time. I could not do that.
That's why I'm in California. I couldn't take New York. It was too much.
And I love New York. It's one of my favorite places to visit. But
Yeah.
there's COVID and like just some more violence and the things and all the riots.
There's a
like,
feeling
I don't
of
even,
pressure.
and I love that. It's like, I don't even have the desire to go there anymore right now.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, I would get home from school and I would be so overloaded by all the people in the street and the smells. And New York smells really bad most of the time, by the way. I would be vibrating. I would have to calm down because it created anxiety for me.
Yeah.
And so, coming to California just felt like freedom to me.
Yeah, California is beautiful. My daughter lives in LA right now,
Okay.
and she loves California. She's pregnant. She's getting ready to have a baby. She's 38. She's got a big job
Aw.
working for, I think they're called Insomniac. They do all the concerts and the EDCs, and
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
she's like the second in charge of all stuff. So she's loving California right now.
Every part of the United States feels completely different. I feel really blessed that I've been to most parts of the United States, and every part has their charms. But there's something about California for me that is just so freeing and liberating and beautiful that
That's your place.
I always want to come back here. So
I have a house. When I met Bill, I lived in Florida. So I have a house in Florida. Florida is my happy place. I love the mountains. But when I'm in Florida, I'm on the lake. The beach is right there. It's like
that feeling.
everything in the world is perfect.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, I get it. I get it. Okay, last thing. I would like I always like our guests to leave us with a word of wisdom, but just one single word.
Not two?
Nope.
Okay. Then I guess the word I would say is breathe.
Oh, okay. Now hang on. So at my Dwan-derful world over here, we have a word of the week. And when people listen to the show, I say, write the word down, stick it on your mirror on a sticky. And every day you're brushing your teeth, you're brushing your hair, say the word breathe and just say the word. So we have a word of the week. So so that's why it has to be a single word, but I do want to know what that word means to you.
If you take the time a few times a day to just stop and take 6 really, it doesn't have to be like crazy deep breaths, but just breathe deeply 6 times, you will find that it resets your inner clock in a funny way. I mean, all of a sudden, everything that's been annoying you will stop. You'll see things more clearly and you'll feel revitalized. So it's a very good thing to do.
I agree. I do the 10 deep breaths. I do them twice a day. And since I started doing it, my anxiety has incredibly gotten lower.
Yeah.
I followed like a video of how to like hold them in so many seconds, breathe out, the whole thing. And I was like, breathing is a great thing. People just don't do it.
Most people breathe very shallowly. And, in my training, I used to teach voice and diction at different colleges, what have you. And breathing is so important. People don't realize how significant your breath really is. And so just taking a moment to remember to breathe, because people don't, I mean, it's automatic. By the way, something else I was going to tell you about my friend, the one who just had the stroke.
Mhm.
She has something called expressive aphasia. And she can say phrases like, I love you. Oh, that's terrific. Oh, how wonderful. Yes. Those are words that got beaten into her brain by how many times she says them. And now that she can't say anything else, it's kind of an interesting thing. All of the goodness that she's been manifesting her whole life is what's left.
Wow.
So whenever you're talking, remember that.
I love that. Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's very, very sweet. I'll be praying for your friend.
Thank you, please. She
I
needs it.
be, well, I pray for everyone, but can I ask her name so I can put her on my prayer board?
Lee Brady.
Okay. Yeah, I have a little board I write everyone's names on and I pray over everybody. So it'd be my honor to
That
pray
is
for
sweet.
her.
That is sweet and beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it'd be my honor to pray for her. And you know what? Hopefully she'll have a full healing and it'll be
There.
wonderful.
And you know what I love is that even though she's 94, they see how fit she is, and they see how capable she was, and they also see how many friends she has.
Yeah.
And they are really working hard to rehabilitate her,
Well,
which I
yeah,
love.
my aunt is 98. She has
Hmm.
no health issues whatsoever, and she still walks like 3 miles a day.
Perfect.
98. She just has the
Perfect.
little walking stick and she walks and, she doesn't drive anymore. But I mean, she
Mhm.
doesn't have a health issue, nothing. She doesn't even take like a Tylenol, nothing. It's like, I don't understand how you can be that crazy healthy. You're 98 years old. But I'm happy about that because my mom's
God
80.
bless her.
She's healthy too, and I'm 66. I'm like, okay, I am claiming that healthy longevity of my family. I want that healthy longevity of the women in my family. So,
There you go.
it's never too late. She could have a great recovery and live another 10 years and do some more amazing things.
That's what I hope. That is my strong hope. So,
That is my hope with you. All right,
thank
everyone. I want to thank you. And Miss Andrea, I definitely want to thank you. You have just been so much fun. I'm going to have you back on here again so we can talk about it. There's so many things. You got the theater and you got the things, you got the Realtor. You are just
thank you.
a wonderful person. You have
Thank
so many
you.
great interests, and I wish more people were like that.
Oh, thank you. And I'm really looking forward to having you on my show because I have no doubt that you're going to be a fascinating guest.
Well, we'll find out pretty soon, won't we?
Yeah, we will.
All right, everybody. Again, find me at dwanderful.com. All social medias, Dwan-derful, DWANDERFUL. And on the podcast, I want you to leave a 5-star review, write something, because the more reviews and the more nice things you say, the more downloads I get, and help me reach 2 million. And we'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And remember that the truth is in the red letters. All right, everybody. Thank you. Miss Andrea, thank you.
Bye.
I am so glad that you stuck around. I almost forgot to tell you. In addition to having this amazing educational podcast, I'm now able to work with you one-on-one. Yes, one-on-one, you and me working together, and have a 3-deal guarantee. 3-deal guarantee that you'll close 3 deals. So you have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. Take the quiz. Go to dwanderful.com. Take the real estate investing quiz. See you on the other side.